We are sending out 400 bags a week. A lot of the kids are repeats because they get them every week, but the numbers change because of the students that move out and move in.
Right.
So by the end of the year, we couldn't tell you exactly how many because we just go bags week to week.
Right.
We get kind of an idea.
We definitely feed on a weekly basis 400.
Yeah.
And but I think what Susan was saying was during the course of the year we may serve as many as 500 or 550 different students because of that fluidity of the kids in the district moving in and moving out.
So we know it's kids, and that's what we want to talk about. We're going to get into that. Who in our community benefits? Is there a demographic? Is it kind of describe who's coming and getting this food?
The original concept of Shepherd's Pack was that back in 2008 we saw the need, and we can talk about the kids being ready to learn and showing signs of being in basically not having enough food over the weekends. But on as far as the demographics of whom it's going to, the teachers and counselors are the ones that they're the boots on the ground. They see these kids and they see when they're hungry and when maybe they've not had enough to eat over the weekend. And we don't ask for paperwork, which has been sometimes a concern, but we trust our teachers and counselors to realize who is in need. And so that's basically the demographic, and they're all students that are in the Laclede County public schools.
Okay. The Lebanon,
with the
Conway.
Lebanon, Jolie Barber, Gasconade. We don't do Conway because they've got their own program.
Oh, okay.
So we made an offer, but they didn't. They have their own there, but we do serve the others.
But it sounds like this, given that the whole county has an option, which is probably safe to say a goal. It doesn't matter if they're at Conway and there's another program. You guys aren't trying to beat out another program or anything.
No.
The focus is food insecurities, and specifically for those times that maybe they don't have school lunches. If it's like, if they don't have a school on a Friday, a lot of kids probably don't get lunch because Monday through Thursday they got it at school. But this is where your program kind of comes in, right?
We're a weekend. Okay. We have a weekend bag. We pack the bags on Wednesdays. They go to the schools on Thursday, and then the schools hand them out on Friday to the kids. So their purpose is to get them through the weekend.
We pack enough food in there, definitely. They can have 3 small meals on 2 days a week. We know that the way that the schools are now really going towards, I remember when I was teaching and you were in school, rarely did we get a Friday off. It was generally a 2-day weekend. We know that schools have gone to a different way of when they have teacher work days and such as that. But what we still try to provide enough food that those kids have nourishment. They can maybe divide it out a little bit differently, but have enough to eat over the weekend so that they come back ready to learn on Monday mornings.
How has this grown? And the second part to that question, what could take it to the next level? So kind of give us a rundown of where it started, 2008, right? And then now it's 2025. So kind of give us a timeline. Let us know what's happening.
Do you want me to talk about that?
You'll help me with the numbers, or you can. We started in 2008, in the spring of 2008, and after a conversation with the school board here in Lebanon and administration, and we started out with about 25 students, and we would go to different grocery stores, and actually Ronnie's Market helped us at the very, very beginning. He would order some food stock in for us, and we would get together and pack those bags and deliver them. We went all the way from backpacks, what we call a backpack, to a different type of bag, and we've ended up with a different way of packaging now and getting it to the students. But that's where we began, and it's just grown exponentially over the years. We're at over 400 per week now, and Susan can talk about that a little bit later. As far as where we're going to go, my wish is that we had 0.
Right.
And but that's probably not going to happen. There'll always be someone that's hungry.
Yeah.
And but we just want to be able to provide for those students by having monetary means to feel like we can project into the future. I like to plan, at least a half year in advance to know that we can provide that stability to the students, so they know that that's there, because often that's just as important, the stability of knowing I'm going to have something to eat, as actually having it to eat.
Gotcha.
They know that, because we've heard stories of students going to the teacher and say, "Did we get our food bag this week?"
Right.
And as soon as they heard yes, they relaxed, and which I think is a testament to the importance of that reliability that the kids have. So where we're going to go, I just have that monetary support.
Right. So it's clear you're the planner and you're the numbers person. I don't know how we got to that point.
It's a different kind of numbers, though. I'm learning
Yeah,
a lot.
we're not doing algebra and trigonometry and all the fun stuff. But
Nope.
give us the numbers, kind of the growth and what you're seeing and just how you've gotten to this point.
Okay, last year, starting with probably March, we were approximately 400 each week.
Right.
And that carried through. At the beginning of this year, the first week of school, we sent out, I think, 280 some odd bags. We were at 398 last week. Okay. So we've grown. And we kind of go through a stabilized period, and then we'll get more or less. And again, kids coming into the program because they've moved into the district now, or if they leave. And we have had cases where the counselors have called and said, "I need 2 less bags because this family has requested that they don't need it anymore, that things are good for them, and so they would like the bags to go to someone else." Mm-hmm. That's the kind of thing that we think we're making progress, and we're important, to the kids.
I can talk a little bit about the numbers a little bit more if you want.
Yeah.
It's pretty staggering to figure this. Well, I can talk to you about the food numbers, and then I can talk about the number of people that it takes to run this thing.
Yeah,
which is an exciting thing in and of itself.
Right.
The actual numbers of the students, we did 13,980 or something like that odd bags that we packed last year. 14,000 bags of food were packed and handled by hand. Nothing is pre-packed. It's all done by hand. And each one of those, every week that we pack, we'll have these big tubs. We've gone to the Henry Ford assembly line but we can pack 400 bags in about 20 minutes.
Right.
We have a team of about over the course of the week, we will see as many as probably 40, maybe 50 different people that will come in, and they'll either prep the tables and set up and empty, because we get all the food brought into us in cases. Those cases are empty, dumped in tubs, and it's all organized by Susan and all this, the administrative stuff. And then that takes a certain team. And then we've got, sometimes there's at least 20, if not 30 volunteers that line up, and we do this going to the Henry Ford assembly line. Christmas, we put Christmas music and we bebop around as we're packing bags and tying them off. But it's just a fun thing to see all this take place, and people, I think they feel so good afterwards. They try to break their record, but you're doing it faster. And I say, just hold off, because we have ways that we double check and make sure we've got the right amount of bags per school, and we've got counters and all that.
What kind of goes in what? Give me an example of a bag.
I'll let Susan talk about that.
We have shelf-stable chocolate milk and apple juice, small boxes. Mm-hmm. We have a ramen brick. We have a mac and cheese cup. Okay. We have a pudding cup. We have a Rice Krispie bar, a breakfast bar, applesauce for the younger students, applesauce cup. Have I left anything else out?
Our goal was to provide sources of calcium and vitamin D. We have that in the milk and the pudding, and vitamin C. We get that in the applesauce for the younger kids, and for the and also in the breakfast bars, and also in the juice. It's an apple. And by the way, the milk is it's no sugar. It's not like some of these you see are pure sugar water. Right. No, this is actual milk. It's a large company that this is what they do. And so we feel pretty good, and we feel like the kid deserves at least one fun thing. So that's why they get a little Rice Krispie cookie, because it's important that they get to smile too.
Right.
And they say, "Oh, I like that." So, but that's basically the food, and the menu changes.
Okay.
And it may change as we get better prices on a different item that we can switch out,
right?
Or we can actually add to, because it's still, I use the word fluid, but
right.
we have our basic, but it can and it does change
with cost of food and all the things.
We've manipulated a little bit since the beginning of school, but I think we're in now into the bag, as it's going to sit for a while, as we got our numbers in and such as that.
As this continues to grow and we see more and more food insecurity, that's a buzzword that we hear, but it's the truth. What are you guys needing? How can somebody get involved? Is it monetary donations? Is it time? Like what would help you guys take this to the next level? Because what if it's $4.50 next week? Like you mentioned, be prepared, but what can people do?
We welcome Packers all the time. I have every Wednesday, except I think this Wednesday, through October, with a group of people that want to come. It's some different groups in churches. They have life groups and they go and do different things. Mm-hmm. Community organizations, clubs want to come in and pack. We had counselors come in the other week and pack for us. So we have people. We always have people, and we welcome them. We want them to see what we're doing, and that is kind of, they're odd at 400 bags in 30 minutes, and that kind of thing. But also the whole process. We always welcome funds. Ron talked about money. $70,000 were our approximate food costs last year.
That was 70,000. That's 70,000. That was approximately our budget, and we work on the fiscal year of July 1 through June 30th. So some of that, a little bit of that might have been used for the buying in advance for the next fall, but it's going to run between $60,000 and $70,000 safely. It never goes below $60,000.
I just did some quick math. That's $5 a meal. $70,000 and 14,000 meals. So,
you're right. You're good at math.
Well, I had to go up to the easy number and do better. But it seems there's opportunities for folks businesses, organizations who could sponsor a weekly thing, or I guess what's the word I'm looking for? A weekly donation or something like that. Right?
Yeah, we generally plan right now, our bag is costing a little over $4. Mm-hmm. We felt like we needed to be prudent with not knowing the state of the economy and the numbers of students that were going to need bags. So we kind of made a decision to lock it in, at least for a little while, between $4 and $5. So we want to be good stewards of the funds that we do have opportunity to use. I think a key thing that we like to focus on is that we take no government funds at all, never have. And the intention is not to ever have to rely on that. It's all Laclede County businesses, people taking care of Laclede County kids. And it's always managed to come, but there have been some times that get a little bit scary if you're looking ahead, and you have to in a situation like this because of that wanting stability and reliability.
One thing, we talk about it, we see it, social media, different things, but it always feels like Lebanon and Laclede County always is there for this type of thing. Kind of give us maybe a little bit about how you've seen the community rally around, or maybe met a need that you had that wasn't forecasted out, or like when it got lean, something like that?
There were a couple of times. There were a couple of times in the past where it, and that was when we had another team doing the leadership. But we were there where we could see that it got close.
Right.
But the money came through, and so it's you have to be faithful in that and understand and accept that. Yeah, the community is going to take care of us,
right.
And that's why we just want to keep our needs in front of people so that they can, give what they can when they have the opportunity. Like the other day, we mentioned that it looks a little skimpy maybe as we think about through the rest of the school year, and some funds came through, and that's just the way people operate in this county.
It seems like people are quick to jump on board when something happens. Now, are you guys just doing this September through May, or is this like what kind of, are you helping in the summers?
We do summer school.
Okay.
Yes, we continue on. The students that get the bags during the school year are automatically in the program to get it for the summer. And then if they have any new students, then we just have a permission form that all the parents have to sign. And so, and that was, the numbers there were, they were about the same as last year, I think, on the summer school.
So this is you guys don't get any time off. I mean, you're constantly
she takes about 2 weeks off during July.
Yeah.
And breathes a little bit, and then starts ordering and crunching numbers again, and getting with the counselors as they get back on July 1 into the office. And
do you see any like fluctuation? Obviously, we know you've mentioned fluid a few times, but are there times of the year where maybe you see an elevation in need, or does it stay pretty flat?
There tends to be a little bit of growth, especially in the spring, and I am suspecting, and we would see that in school too, as people begin to think about moving.
Right.
They'll go ahead and move to into this as a new location, and we'll see a little bit of a spike in numbers then. Luckily, we don't see it so much around December and January because we have such a giving community.
Right.
There are other sources of support, and I could start listing off, but I'll forget one of the entity or the groups that provide for our food pantries, the general food pantries and such as that. So we don't really see that. When there's perhaps a factory that goes through either a slowdown or something like that, we will see a little bit of a jump. But it's when you're talking about 400, you only see like maybe a growth of 8 to 10. Gotcha. It's not. It's filtered down.
Let's backtrack now. Like, and I think we touched on it, but I don't remember for certain. So we'll do it again. But like, what started this? Like, what was it? Were you sitting around and you were like, "Hey, I want to start this"? Was it happening in another community? Did you get an idea from that? Like, tell us that.
Yes, you hit it. I was sitting watching the nightly news, and there was a school, I believe it was in New York, that I'm not sure who the broadcaster was, that they did a spot on that. And I thought, we had just, some other teachers, we'd been talking and noticing that we noticed some students struggling. And I thought, there's no reason why we can't do that here. I think when I presented the idea, there was a little bit of a shock, perhaps, that we would have that need, because we tend to think the best of everything, and we think surely we cannot have students that are hurting.
Right.
But then when we started talking amongst other teachers, saying yes, or talking with the lunch ladies, because they see students who, from a different angle, wanting a little bit more, or the lunch monitor seeing a child asking for part of their lunch partners who they're sitting next to, part of their food, or even as much as a child would be what I call the word gorging.
Right.
And eating like a little chipmunk, trying to pad up for the weekend, or doing the same thing on Monday morning, coming back because they were just starved. And this is through no fault of anyone, anybody. People find themselves at times struggling, and oftentimes the kids are the silent victims of that situation.
Well, we had Sarah with Sleep in Heavenly Peace here, and we sat down with her, and it was a realization at that point, because I think we take for granted, you do see the food banks and you know they're doing amazing things in the community, but you don't maybe tunnel vision on that's helping a whole family, or it's not specifically looking at a certain aspect of that. You know what I mean? Where we take for granted they go to school Monday through Friday, they get lunch, they go home. Most people assume everybody has a meal or is getting good guidance with nutrition and that sort of thing. So having the opportunity to sit down like this gives us an opportunity to look at things a different way and a different perspective, like you mentioned. So it's a wake up call a lot of times, because day-to-day life, if you've never experienced it, that's one thing we talked to Sarah about. If I've never been without a bed, maybe I don't think about kids without a bed. If I've not, I have lunch on Saturdays, or my daughter has lunch on Saturdays, but there's a lot of kids that they just don't have access to that, or they only have access to chips and soda and all the other typical things, and they don't get that opportunity to be nourished and have what they really need. And
I will say that when we presented this idea to the administration, once they thought about it, and they were so supportive of saying, yes, let's try this. And, we figured out a way that would make it legal to do it in the schools and to make sure that the kids got it. So we had some wonderful support from the administration, through assistant superintendent board, and also with our church, First Christian Church, who says, we don't know how we're going to fund this, but you can sure try, and we'll let you run through us as your 501c3, which is kind of a unique way to do it. But all the funds go directly into a sub account at the church. But that allows us not to have to spend another however many thousand it is, or whatever the amount is to become a 501c3 entity. So it's just everything has worked out very supportive.
So Ron, you're the planner. We established that. Susan, you're into the numbers. How can someone reach out and kind of get involved or donate or things like that?
They can contact me. Their best is to call First Christian Church, and our secretary there will either give out my number, or she will take their number and let me know, and I'll contact them.
Another way is that I am not good with technology, and Ramsey, you'd be embarrassed how little I know, but I did do a Facebook page, and that is Shepherd's Pack, Lebanon Mo. And they can look that up, and they can see some of the things that we're doing. Try to focus in on when we have gifts by different entities, and also when we have a group of people coming in and working, we want to celebrate their giving, of their time. But as another way, where do we get funds? We're planning a new idea, and so I'll be glad to share that with you.
Yeah. What do you got?
It's called Building a Wall Against Hunger.
Okay.
And we're going to do that during the month of October.
Okay.
And we thought, what's one thing that we use? We use ramen noodles. So we're going to build a wall against hunger with bricks
of
ramen.
Okay.
We would like to have 10,000 bricks.
So we're physically going to build this wall. Like, we're going to stack it?
If I get enough, I will find an engineer to build it.
Oh, there's plenty of Lebanon engineers.
So we thought that would be fun, and that'll take us about 2/3 of the year through running this. A little more than 2/3. If we do 13,000 bags, about 10,000 would take us up into the spring. And if you think of the cost of what a single brick of ramen runs, by the time you do 10,000, that's a chunk of money
Right.
that we can spend in some other way on that food bag. So we're going to do it during the month of October. Basically, we're going to try to let the churches organize that, and then we're going to have them, or they can bring them by the church, which is First Christian Church at 500 South Madison, on Saturday, November 1, the day after Halloween. So maybe you go trick-or-treating with ramen noodles.
Trick-or-treating. I can imagine the look on a few kids' faces if they got ramen for Halloween. It'd be a little weird, but it'd be fun.
So there'll be some flyers around town, and we'll try to get shared on social media.
How many bricks are in one of those like cellophane wrapped ramen?
You can buy them in groups of.
Okay, the cases we get have 24 of them.
In one of those like cardboard flat
In one of
box.
the flats.
Okay.
But you can buy them smaller with 6 in a pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many bricks or how many cases, if there's 24 in a pack, see, we're bringing out the math. Here we go. You didn't know you were going to
Where's
give a
my
lesson.
calculator?
If we need
Get that
10,000,
phone
if we
and-
need 10,000 bricks and you get 24 in a case, how many cases would be 10,000?
Take 10,000.
Trivia question for the day.
Right. 10,000 divided by 24? Mm-hmm. See, that's how simple it would be. Mm-hmm. See, I should probably be able to do that in my head. 10,000 by 24. That's 416.66666667 or 2/3
Cases.
You need 417 cases.
We're on 26 cases a week.
You give away. So one week of, okay.
The reason we chose this is because a person, if you're on a limited income, that you could go buy a small pack, which might cost you $2, and you've provided the main substance meal for 6 kids.
That's pretty crazy.
Pretty crazy. We thought that was one way that we could do that and make it available so everybody can help.
Right.
Much like in the Bible, the story of the widow who gives the mite. I don't mean that, but it's available for everyone. Or someone could bring a truckload of many cases.
If someone's watching this and remembers next time they're at Price Cutter or Walmart or Aldi and they buy a few extra things, can they just drop them off to the church? Is it that simple?
They can drop it by the church. We will, if you do it during the morning hours, they will for sure be picked up almost immediately.
Really?
But there'll be people in and out all day long at the church.
Well, you guys are doing amazing things, putting those numbers and, thinking about $5 that you're able to feed a child for a weekend over $5 is pretty incredible. And the work it takes to make all of this happen, the logistics side of it, but the fact of planning ahead like you're doing and being sustainable is pretty cool too. And the fact that the community just continues to give and be there when folks need it is a testament to where we live and what we're doing, right?
You're right. Yeah.
Well, I know you guys are doing amazing things, and there's a lot of folks that appreciate what you're doing and what you've given to this community because you guys are both retired educators here. How long were you in the school district? I know we talked about this last time, but
I don't know. I say that. I did 29 full years, and then I did a few half years, and then I went away to teach at Central Methodist, and I came back and did some. So honestly, it's kind of hard to tell.
And
I'm 35, 36. I did some of the block where you only went 2 days or 3 days for certain classes. So, yeah.
Math, those were the days. Long time ago.
You notice I said I needed my calculator if you were going to ask me about numbers.
Jokingly, though, I do want to ask a question from an educator standpoint. When we were in school, like the use of calculators, in algebra, college algebra was the last class I had with you, but you had to have like a graphing calculator or a TI, whatever. But always the joke was like, you're not going to carry around a calculator your whole life.
That's true.
And now we carry around a calculator your whole life, and it's a tool much like a pencil is anymore, right? Different,
and TIs, I don't know unless it's a scientific type thing, or an engineer probably carries a specific kind, but I don't see TIs anymore. Just a regular calculator, and
I use an abacus.
We have one that's about like this, and it's got big keys.
Yeah,
and it came from.
It's about a 1980 model, and it's still going.
Still going strong. So the little solar panel on the top.
Yep. And the plastic is kind of a beige yellow, ugly.
Yeah.
I've dropped it several times, and I'm thinking, oh, please, no, you can't.
Last a little longer.
just make it through. Just keep adding it up for us. Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. I hope some folks get to watch this and see a little bit inside of what you're doing and the impact you guys are making, because it's pretty incredible.
Well, thank you for taking time to share with the community.
And you're a big part of and we appreciate that.
We're fortunate to have a lot of folks who believe in what we're doing and the opportunities that we can help wherever we can. So thank you guys for trusting us, and look forward to watching this thing continue to grow. You mentioned 2008. We're in 2025. Back to a math problem. That's a lot of years. So I wish you continued success, and I know the folks in this community will continue to support what you're doing. So
thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So Ron and Susan Atteberry, Shepherd's Pack. Want more information? Call First Christian Church, and the ladies in there will get you taken care of. So thank you.